Let's go, boys! Free agency's underway, and I'm all sorts of excited. Let's go. Jets re-signed Braxton Berrios, and Laken Tomlinson's coming to New York. It's nice. It feels good after what felt like a gruesome, first 2 hours of the free agent period. We finally start making some moves. Laken Tomlinson hasn't missed a start in 3 years. He comes from San Francisco, going to plug into our right guard spot. No learning curve. He already knows the offense. And then our boy, Braxton Berrios, coming back on a 2-year, $12 million contract, $6 million a year. I love it. I think this is exactly the contract you want to see for Berrios. And look, we get him locked in for at least next year and the next year. Yes, I love continuity. I love continuity. It just makes me happy. Laken Tomlinson, 3 years, $40 million. Not bad. What does that work out to be? That's like a little more than $12 million a year, $13 million a year, $13.3 million a year. Big time money for a guard. But this is what you're seeing in free agency. Lots of big money being thrown around for guys that I did not think were going to be worth that. Now, guys that I'm definitely keeping my eye on. People that I want to see the Jets bring in. Marcus Williams. Allen Robinson. Come on, boys. Let's go. Let's get some more talent in here. Now, people I'm a little bummed about maybe to see sign elsewhere. Foyesade Alakun goes to Jacksonville. Jacksonville's spending like gangbusters down there. They got Sheriff. They got Foley Fatukasi. Dropping a lot of money. A lot of money down there. I would say it's a lock for them to go with the edge rusher at the top of the draft. It seems like Aiden Hutchinson's going to be their guy. No reason for them to take an offensive lineman at this point with all that they have on that line. Oh, yes. This is fun. You guys are asking any more moves? I hope there's more moves today. I want to see more moves. Gets me excited. I'm going to be doing my live call-in show from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, and I'm not even going to give you that much of my commentary. I'll give you my brief commentary at the beginning, and then we're going straight through 2 hours. I want to hear all your thoughts on everything Jets-related, the free agent signings, possible trade scenarios, possible draft scenarios. How does re-signing Berrios and signing Tomlinson affect our NFL draft? Now, I would say Tomlinson locks it in for us that we're not going to go offensive lineman with one of our top 2 picks, which is exactly what I really wanted to avoid doing. I love it. I think this is exactly what we wanted. These were 2 guys I had on my wish list to come back. Most people had them, but man, that's nice. I'm glad we dodged a bullet with Brandon Sheriff. I thought for sure that the Jets were on their way to sign him, and I was so concerned because he hasn't played a full season since 2016. He got a bucket load of money. I'll take Tomlinson all day. 30 years old. Rock solid. Rock solid signing here. I want to see safety, and I want to see wide receiver. Christian Kirk just got the bag from Jacksonville, if I'm not mistaken. It just makes me happy. Makes me happy. This is what I want to see, boys. Look at all you guys are getting all sorts of excited. You guys are asking for Marcus Williams. Matthias says, great signing for Zach Wilson. Joe Douglas just told you he's in with Zach. I love it. Kool-Aid says, draft Kyle Hamilton. I don't want to do that yet. Would like to try and get a safety first. Tony says, our slot just need to get that number 1 wide receiver to go with Moore and Davis. Yeah, you still want to capture that guy like Allen Robinson. You have your gadget guy in Berrios, can possibly play the slot. I love it. This is a great first step for the New York Jets. Jets Gang says Marcus Williams is next. Matthias says Jacksonville has stupid money. If the Jets get Marcus Williams, I'm going to do backflips. Dude, we're all on board. Hunter says, let's effing go. Let's go. Let's go. This just makes me feel good. Let's see. Hunter says, snag Thibodeau and Williams. That's going to be if you can get Williams and you have, you bring in 2 top guys with number 4 and number 10 on the defense, this defense is going to flip around real quick. James says, Sauce at 4, Johnson at 10. I definitely like going corner and edge early in this draft, for sure. You love to see everyone hyping Berrios up on Twitter after the signing. Culture boys. This is great, dude. Braxton Berrios is like the heart and soul of like the fan base for this team. It's just nice to see someone who gives it 100% every time. Like, there's no doubt in my mind when I watch him play. It's like, that dude's going to like break something because he's running so damn hard. Like, it's just nice to see that. And I think we have a culture that's building here. You see Michael Carter, you see Elijah Moore, you see all these guys kind of have that same mentality. Bringing back Berrios, 100% the right move we needed to see here. Let's see. Neil says, hoping we can try here for J.C. Jackson, Carlton Davis, or Marcus Williams. I heard we're in on Carlton Davis. J.C. Jackson, I heard rumors of him possibly going to the Chargers. Marcus Williams, I know the Jets are in on, so I got my fingers crossed for him. They get Allen Robinson. It takes receiver off the board with one of our first picks. I agree. I think if you wind up taking Robinson, you're looking in the second round for a wide receiver. I would be trying to look for second round wide receiver either way, but definitely think you are correct in this. Kashmir drops in with a super chat, says, what do you think about the Jets signing Bobby Wagner? I would like to see them sign Bobby Wagner. It's nice, but it's kind of like that, like an old person linebackers between C.J. Mosley and him. He's not probably the top one on my list, but I think there's a lot of talent there. He's still playing at a Pro Bowl level. How much is he going to command? How much are the Jets willing to spend on it? I wouldn't mind seeing it. Adding talented players to this defense is not a bad move. Aaron Honore, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, let's friggin' go. Berrios, great job getting him back. Let's get Thibodeau in the draft. Dude, I just want an edge rusher in the worst way, and this is opening the door for that. You don't even, like, run the risk of the Jets possibly pulling the trigger on a Kwanu or Neal. Like, you signed Tomlinson for 3 years, $40 million. You are rolling with this line. Now you got Becton, you got AVT, McGovern right now. We're still in on Bozeman, so I could see him possibly coming to the New York Jets. You have Tomlinson at right guard, and then you have Fant at right tackle. I friggin' love this. This line is probably the best offensive line I've seen since 2010, at least on paper. Really, really liking this. TJ says, wide receiver 1 is top priority. Any signings will be in vain if we don't land one. I think we need to get a wide receiver 1, but I don't know if it's necessarily in free agency. I hope we can kind of see where guys are going, because I don't want to overpay for someone that's like not great. Like, Robinson's one that I would pay for. DJ Shark's another one. I don't know if he's signed yet. I don't think he has, but that's someone else I would keep an eye on. Man, it's nice to get our boy Berrios back. Absolutely love this. Scott says, Trevor has no excuse but to ball out this season. If he doesn't, Jacksonville will second-guess the pick. They won't second-guess it after the first year in the new system, I think. They'll, you know that he was considered the generational prospect. It was the easiest pick to make in the entire draft. So I don't think they're second-guessing it in any capacity, but I do love the fact that they are surrounding their young quarterback with talent. This is exactly what you want to see. And they're just spending silly money. Like, who knows if that, like, ends up helping him. Sheriff isn't normally healthy. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I think they're definitely improving. Definitely improving. Rafi says, JD is a wizard. Getting Berrios for $6 million a year is perfect value. That's where a lot of us kind of predicted his value to be, is right in that $6 million, maybe with incentives up to $9 million. But I'm glad we got this done for exactly what a lot of us were kind of saying he would. And before $6 million, a lot of us were probably thinking $4 million. So maybe this is a little bit step up from where we would have originally felt comfortable. Then you hear that whole $9 million rumor, and you're like, oh no, we're going to lose Berrios for $9 million. That would suck. Muslim says, so if Kayvon Thibodeau is gone before 3, do you take Sauce, Hamilton, or Icky if he's still on the board? I'm taking Sauce all day. I'm hoping we get Marcus Williams. In the event that, like, Hutchinson, Thibodeau, and Sauce are all off the board, like let's say those are the 3 that are gone, then I'm probably going with our top edge rusher. You could convince me on Hamilton if we didn't take safety in free agency. I don't particularly want to spend that pick there. I would prefer the edge rusher because you can have your pick at edge rusher from any of the top, from 3, 4, and 5 on your ranking. So that's where I would prefer. I don't want to touch Icky at this point. I really didn't want to take offensive linemen early in this draft. I just felt like we might go that route, and I'm really happy with what we wound up with Tomlinson. Alexa says, love it. Nothing blockbuster, but 2 solid signings. This is huge. This is absolutely what Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh said we were going to do. We're going to build through the draft. We're going to retain some of our own. You're going to bring in those fatties up front. I love it. Alexa, you're right on point. Perfect signings. Kashmir says, we still got Lawson coming back along with Myers and Williams. Yes, but we still want to get an edge rusher because you got Quinnen and John Franklin Myers on the inside at D-tackle, Lawson on the outside. You get that edge rusher on the outside, opposite Lawson. Whew, watch out. Jets are going to be headhunting. Putrid Clam says, give me Marcus Williams and I'll be feeling good heading into the draft. That would be absolutely fantastic. That would be a nice little like topper on today if we got Marcus Williams. Just exciting. Biggest Dickus. Man, Salah has made possibly the best culture in Jets history in just a year. I love him so much. It's nice. I haven't felt this energy around the Jets since we were winning in 2008, 9, 10. So this is it just feels good to have this around. Now, hopefully it carries into the season and we see some wins from it, but man, it's nice. Sir Manzer says, Alec Lindstrom in the 4th to sit behind McGovern for 2 years. I think, McGovern's going into his final year of his contract. So if you draft Lindstrom, you're probably hoping that he's going to wind up being the center going into 2023. But I would love that move. I absolutely like it. I think if we don't sign a center in free agency, we're going to be going for a center at some point in the mid rounds in the draft. Let's see. What else we got? Williams says, everyone's saying how Douglas doesn't value safety, but also saying we should pay $15 million a year for Williams. Yes, and here's the rationale for it. Because while Joe Douglas hasn't invested heavily into the safety position, there's reasons why he hasn't. Like Jamal Adams was a malcontent who was going to fetch us a ton of picks to rebuild this team, and he was going to ask for a massive contract. I think you trade him away. That's the right move. Then you go after, you retain Marcus May on the franchise tag, which I think was the right move. You offer him less money than the franchise tag on a multi-year deal because you could just say, hey, look, we could keep franchise tagging you and it's going to cost less. Let's lock into this. Oh, man, did the Jets just get DK? Is that what just happened? You guys are blowing me up right now. Is this actually happen? Did we? Hold on. Hold on. What just happened? Come on, come on. Is this true? Don't get me all hyped up. Don't get me hyped up. Don't do that. It hasn't. I don't think it's happened. Ugh. Holy smokes. God, yeah, my heart rate. If I check my heart rate right now, it's going to be through the roof. Fake news, fake news, fake news. I was going to say, I was like, no friggin' way. Don't get me all sorts of excited. You guys are jerks. Wow. Let's see what we got going on. Bronx says, if you like, how you like if we sign Tyrann Mathieu if we don't get Marcus Williams? He would be my backup option at safety, I think. As much as I like Justin Reed, I would definitely go for Tyrann Mathieu. I think he's just an elite playmaker back there. And I don't know, he's going to be more than you want to spend probably on a safety of his age. So Reed is probably the smarter decision for a little bit less, but I do like Mathieu for sure. God, you guys just get me so sorts of excited. God, that's what happens. Let's see. Don't get me excited like that. Dark Soldier says, block every idiot that said DK to New York when it wasn't real. I really should. I got to get some moderators in here. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look for some new moderators. So I'm going to have to do that so that way we can actually moderate some of this stuff because I don't want some of the BS in there. God, that makes me excited. Yoshi says Sauce and Karlaftis. I'd be cool with that. I like Karlaftis. I love me some Sauce. Really love me some Sauce. Kenny Powell says, how do you feel about picking up Jarvis Landry? Jarvis Landry said he didn't want to go to the New York Jets. So while I wouldn't mind it as like a fallback for DJ Shark and Allen Robinson, it doesn't seem like Landry is going to do that. Holy smokes. Is that what Christian Kirk got? $18 million a year? Jeez. That is brutal. That is a lot of money for someone I was not thinking would get that much. I was thinking like 12, like somewhere in the Corey Davis type contract. That is ugly. Clay Wavy drops in with the super chat, says, Kayvon Thibodeau will bust. Allen Robinson is not a true number one wide receiver. I'm taking Hamilton at 4. As much as I love Sauce, I'd rather take safety who can play corner and in the box. I don't know if that's how you'd utilize Kyle Hamilton, though. I would definitely urge caution when trying to think about using him outside on corner. He's flexible enough to plug in there for sure, but man, I like Allen Robinson. I think you could argue is not a true number one, but you could also argue his quarterback play over the course of the last year was so abysmal that he will be better this year, or should be better this year. As far as KT being a bust, I don't know. The guy's got the talent. I'm just concerned with the attitude more than anything else. But I would take Sauce. I love me some Sauce. Jaguars given stupid money. That's what it seems like. I don't know how they wind up having all this cash to just spend on everyone. I don't understand the cap. I thought I understood the cap. Like, I was one of the most knowledgeable people you could ask about contracts and like cap space. And now it just seems like it makes no sense. Everyone can sign wherever they want. It doesn't make any difference what the money is. Ryan Thompson says, we need Garrett Wilson and DJ Moore just so we can hear Wilson to Wilson and no, the other Moore. That would be cool if you have DJ Moore and Elijah Moore. I think DJ Moore is a legit possibility in the event that Carolina doesn't have the picks they need to go up and get Deshaun Watson. So maybe they make a trade with the Jets. We send them Denzel Mims. We'll take DJ Moore, and we'll give you, a second-round pick or whatever. I would like that. But Garrett Wilson, I think, is really good. I would hope we don't have to spend a top 10 pick on receiver. I would prefer to go the second-round route. But if you get DJ Moore, you wouldn't have to go after a receiver in the draft. Let's see. Joseph says, Ryan, if we didn't draft tight end or defensive end early in the draft, how would you address it? Trust Lawson and company? If we don't address defensive end early in the draft, I'm really, really concerned that the Jets would not be able to find a good tight end or defensive end. You'd have to go at pick 35 or trade back up into the first. The top edges go early in drafts. It's not likely that you get a top edge later on. It's more of a roll of the dice. Although that being said, I'm pretty sure Lawson was like a 3rd round pick, so you could definitely do that. Oreo brings this up. There was a rumor the Jets offered the 4th and 10th and Zach Wilson for Deshaun Watson. That's been like the popular sort of thing fans have been saying if they want Deshaun Watson. There's zero truth to that. Connor Hughes came out and said there's absolutely no truth to that as well, and I completely agree. There's no way the Jets offered that. Evan Ryan, get me lit, let's go! Getting all sorts of fired up. Steel Stone says salaries are out of control. Can't build and hold together a proper team. They're out of control because the salary cap's going out of control. We're going to see a massive TV contract next year where it's going to just blow contracts out of the water. Wait and see. They're going to be absolutely massive. Let's see. Shane Howard says, I still want to trade a second at best for Danielle Hunter. I like the edge product out of Minnesota. If the Jets don't want to go edge top in this draft, then maybe you consider that. But I think you're going to have a pick of a lot of really good guys. Like, who are you taking at the top of the draft then? Are you hoping Hamilton's there? Like, maybe Danielle Hunter. I don't know when, like, any money is due for him. Like, if you have to trade for him, like, right now, or if you could wait towards the draft. Because I think what you do is you try to see who you can get at edge, and if you don't love him, then maybe you move a second for Danielle Hunter. I wouldn't mind that. Rats. Chandler Jones to Denver. I don't like seeing that. That's disappointing. I didn't think we were really in play for him, but I would have liked to have seen that. Devandra says, if we sign Marcus Williams and a mid-tier cornerback, would you be comfortable going edge and receiver at 4 and 10? I would be more comfortable doing that, but I still would prefer to go a second-round wide receiver. I think there is a ton of value, a ton of really good guys that could fall. You could get Treylon Burks in the second round potentially. You're going to have Christian Watson. You're going to have George Pickens. You're going to have John Dotson possibly. Maybe Jameson Williams winds up sliding down into the second round. If you can bring in someone of like mediocre talent, maybe at wide receiver, I mean, maybe it's just the core we have now, and you can get Jameson Williams and have him sit for a little bit. Man, I would love that. You look at the money that's being thrown around from NFL teams for guys that are on ACL tears. Michael Gallup, Godwin, franchise tag, $62 million guaranteed. Dude, teams are not worried about the ACL. I would go second round wide receiver all damn day and go after Sauce still. But it opens the door if you take a cornerback and Marcus Williams in free agency. Steven says, we should trade back our number 4 pick. We can still get Walker or Karlaftis at 10, maybe get some more assets. Yeah, if Seattle's trying to jump up or if Atlanta's trying to jump up, I'm looking to make a move. Let's wheel and deal. I have no problem moving out of number 4, depending on who's there. But you got to be careful because the Giants are definitely going to take an edge rusher at some point. And you got to think the Panthers are probably going to take a quarterback. Possible. Well, actually, if they get Watson, then it could be the Texans, right? So the Texans would be sitting at pick 4 and 7, or 3 and 7. So you're talking, or no, 3 and 6. 3 and 6 would be what they would be sitting at. So you're talking they might go with the guy that they think is the best value or the best player at number 3. And if they think that Hamilton's going to slide down to number 6, they can pick him up there. When you have 2 first-round picks like the Giants have, like the Jets have, like the Texans will inevitably have, those are opportunities that you have for your fan base that you can wheel and deal which player you're going to pick at which spot because you think you know what the team behind you is going to take. Like the Panthers, I'm sorry, I'm thinking they're taking offensive lineman. I'm thinking they're taking quarterback. If I'm the Giants, I'm sitting pretty and I'm like very happy. Now the Texans get that pick, it throws a screwball for the Giants, for sure. Donald says, if we don't get Allen Robinson, Jets have to go edge at 4, wide receiver at 10, cornerback in rounds 2 or 3. I don't know. Wide receiver is just so deep in this draft in the second round. I think you're going to be able to get a really good one in the second round. But I understand not wanting to wait that long. If you can get the best receiver of this draft class and you covet one of them, go make the move at 10. I have no problems with that. But I absolutely think, like you said, edge should absolutely be the priority at number 4. Crazy. Oreo says, the free agents are flying off the board. Anyone currently you want to see the Jets still sign? So while I'm going live, you guys are going to have to update me as things happen because I'm not looking at the Twitter feed. But the New York Jets should absolutely be going after Marcus Williams. We should be going after Tyrann Mathieu, just in case. Go after Allen Robinson. Maybe DJ Shark. I don't know who else is still out there, but you got to think Shark's going to get a ton of money if Kirk just got a bunch. So going to be interesting. Let's see. Where do you think Trayvon Walker's going to go? He will be a monster. I think he's going to be awesome. He's got like 35-inch arms. That's enormous. That's a big old wingspan. I don't know where he goes. He might be the second or third edge off the board. It depends. There's a lot of guys in that top 10. Like I would say Hutchinson, Thibodeau, Karlaftis, Walker, and Johnson. Those 5 guys are all worthy of a top 10 pick, in my opinion. And whichever one you like, pull the trigger at 4, or if you're cool with all of them, sit back at 10, take whoever you want at 4, and take, who winds up falling later on. Shane says, if we could get Danielle Hunter, I would want to get Hamilton at number 4, and either a wideout at 10 or possibly Sauce or Stingley if they fall, or we could get Icky at 4 and one of the cornerbacks at 10. If we get Danielle Hunter, and we, in theory, have our edge solution solved, I would say I'd be looking at Sauce or Hamilton at 4. And then at 10, but I would also consider trade downs in both those scenarios. If you have your edge rusher, I'm way more willing to wheel and deal that 4th pick. 10 kind of sucks because I don't think that pick is as valuable as it once was because Washington has their quarterback. Now, maybe that just means they're cool with taking one as they fall, but I would think they're rolling with Wentz for the year. We'll see. I would like to trade down, but I think it definitely opens the door if you get an edge rusher via trade or free agency. See. Josh says, any thoughts on potentially moving down at 4 since we got our offensive guard and if there are no edges available? I think there's enough edges that I would still take one at 4. Evan says, somebody turn on the sprinkler systems because Joe D has smoke coming off his fingertips. What felt like a very, very long start to this process is like getting really exciting and it makes me happy. Clay Wavy drops in with a super chat. Clay says, with Lawson coming back, John Franklin Myers and Quinnen Williams, I'm really considering going edge in the second round. Take Sauce or Hamilton. Take Sauce/Hamilton or offensive line. I don't want to go offensive line in the first round. That feels like a strength of this team, and I think it would be a mistake and a poor use of resources to not allocate some of that to the defensive side. So I would still go defense. I would double dip defense in the first round personally, and I would look for wide receiver in the second. Just my thoughts. Let's see. Oh my God, money keeps going up. They're saying for Christian Kirk, is it actually 21 million? Is that what they're talking about? That's brutal. Oh yeah, damn, 4 years, 84 million. What are you thinking? Christian Kirk. I don't want any part of Christian Kirk. This is why you need to draft a wide receiver in the top of this draft, because that is brutal. That is a lot of money. Jeez. Glad we weren't in on that. Rafi says, I still think the Jets need to address the linebacker position. It's kind of putrid. I think so too. I think we're going to wind up addressing this in the draft. I do think we bring in someone along the lines of like a Jared Davis level of contract. So we'll see. I don't know what he winds up getting. Yeah, Colin says, Kirk getting $21 million a year means there's no way Allen Robinson gets less than that. Yeah, dude, I'm not paying Allen Robinson $21 million a year. Get the fuck out of here. I don't want any bit of that. Friggin' Jaguars blowing up the market. Michael says, now we go after Marcus Williams. Let's see. Or Allen Robinson. If we don't get either one, go for Thibodeau or Hamilton at 4. And then if Walker or Sauce Gardner are gone at 10, you try to trade down. The issue with trying to trade down at this point is we're going to wind up not getting the value we could have had prior to the Carson Wentz trade, because I don't think teams think that the Commanders are going to go up and get a quarterback at this point. But you never know. Oh, that seems like I got to go, guys. Is that it? Becca's it? Yeah, the plumber's here. All right. All right. I got to take care of some stuff. Boys and girls, it's been a lot of fun. I'll jump on live later tonight, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock for my live call-in show. I want to hear all your thoughts. I'm going 3 minutes per caller. I want to hear everyone's thoughts about free agency, what we want to do in the draft. I'll be live at 8 o'clock, and I'll jump on live if we sign anyone else. Guys, make sure you stay tuned. Hit that like button on your way out. We got a guard. We got our guy back in Braxton Berrios. This is Jets Talk signing off. Jets!